So, this is your King of Kings speaking again. So, what I want to do is go over the beginnings of Israel for the last 80 years. Now, Israel had not listened to her God for the previous 5,000 years, but she was given another chance. When the Jews, after World War II, nobody wanted the Jews. England didn't want them. The United States certainly didn't want them. Nobody wanted them. They had no place to go. They were thinking maybe Africa somewhere. Okay. And somebody in England got the idea, well, let's see if we can, we have some nobility and just determination possibilities in the Palestine area, so why don't we carve out a little place for the Jews? And so the Arabs were none too pleased about this, but they said, well, you know what? Nobody else wants you. Come on in. Just don't make too much noise, okay? And so the Jews, prior to that happening, had turned Zionist, which is basically Nazi. Not only on the folks, the God-fearing folks living in Palestine, but themselves. The Bible says that poor are the folks who are drunk with no wine. And this is currently the case of the whole of Palestine now. The Israel folks have turned themselves drunk on a borrowed hubris with no wine. They have not fulfilled one of the caveats. God gave them 10 commandments. He said, you obey these things, and you will be the cat's ass of creation. However, if you fail, you will be destroyed in the land. That was the deal. And for 5,000 years, they paid no attention. For 5,000, right off the hop, they buggered their neighbors. Jacob's daughter, Dinah, was the cause of antisemitism. Dinah's brothers decided to take advantage of their neighbors. Right idea. So they told him, you can have our daughter, you can have our sister here, but you have to be circumcised like the rest of us. See, we pull up their wings and 28 schmucks. No little floppy thing on the end. So this guy who fell in love with Jacob's daughter was not of the tribe of Israel, and so basically the bottom line is what happened is the Jews, 3 days after they had cut the tip off their penis and were just in agony, came into their encampment and slaughtered them. All the men, took all the women and children and livestock and all the valuables with them. and Jacob said to his sons, like, yo, what the fuck have you done? And now we're gonna be fucked. Everybody's gonna wipe us out. You're stupid. And the response was, well, they treated our sister like a harlot, so fuck them. The slightest provocation, the Jew will sneak around and fuck you up. This is what the Jew has been carrying with her since time out of mind, almost. Think about it. They did their first sin about 4,000 years ago, and it's stuck with them ever since. You know, I sinned against my little sister at almost 5 years old. She was 2. I lied. I said I didn't steal the cookies, and I did. And so my mother's bank gave her the spanking. She hated me every moment of her life after that. The shit you do counts. I'm here to tell you. And there's nothing you get away with. Not a thing. One way or another, any contravention of your own perfect integrity, which is what you were born with. Some folks call that original sin, but it's really perfect integrity. That's the God that's living inside of you that you can't get away from. Well, that's not true. You can if you turn yourself psychotic. Where you have no empathy left, which is the case with most of the politicians in the West and in Israel today are consumed with. It's a mentally deranging phenomena. The child of metaphysical law to straighten out creation. Those who seek salvation through the prosecution of lies are going to suffer, and suffer more and more and more intensely as time goes on. And there's no escaping this. I've been trying to chisel away that which didn't fit, get you to admit it so it doesn't sink you into the predicted lake of fire, which is really a lake of shame. It's going to last 1,000 years. I don't want to see any of my kids there, but some of you are insisting that that's where you want to locate. What do you do? What do you do when you're the king of everything? Imagine what it's like to see your own kids destroying each other in support of mythical delusions that have no basis in reality.